The wet tropics is home to more than 3,300 species of plants and over 700 species of vertebrate animals.
Everything we eat, drink, and breathe is based on biodiversity one way or another.
Biodiversity loss in the wet tropics has impacted a wide range of species. Urbanization, agriculture, and subsequent habitat loss are major drivers of biodiversity loss.
We've disturbed that natural balance, and I think when you're in a really biodiverse environment, and just the complexity, the number of animals, the number of birds you're hearing, the number of lizards, and the fish in the streams and everything else. It's just I think to me it's to get back to healthy country, we need to be restoring areas back to what they were 1,000 years ago, really.
While conservation initiatives are often piloted by scientists and conservationists, citizen contribution is key for encouraging and implementing strategies for conservation success. One way for people to get involved in citizen science is by joining community groups.
I'm in the Yungaburra Land Care Group, which is based, as the name suggests, in Yungaburra, and we look after vegetation, plantings and things at Peterson Creek.
I'm in Treat. We're a member of Treat.
I've joined quite a number of community groups, including the Treat, the Trees for the Evelyn and Atherton Tablelands, a community group that does a lot of rainforest revegetation work.
Citizen science events like BioBlitzes allow community members to take environmental action while sharing and expanding their knowledge on topics like biodiversity.
Well, being part of a community group has given me so much, and it's such an important part of my life. I've built social connections and relationships and made new friends. I've learnt more about our local environment. I've been able to hopefully contribute something back to our community and the local environment by being part of the groups.
Malanda in North Queensland held its first BioBlitz event this November.
A BioBlitz is an intensive scientific study of a discrete area that aims to include community members alongside students, researchers and scientists to collect biodiversity data.
We administered surveys to BioBlitz attendees before and after the event to assess changes in their attitudes towards conservation, appreciation of Dungavel Park, and understanding of biodiversity. Surveys included free response, ranked answer, and multiple choice questions. Pre-surveys were given at the BioBlitz registration desk, and post-surveys were given as participants were leaving or via email. We also reached out to participants for follow-up interviews to gain insight into their motivation for attending the BioBlitz.
We set out to see how a citizen science event could change local appreciation of nature spaces. We found that 65% of respondents reported feeling more positive about Dungavel Park following the BioBlitz event. This indicates that the event may have contributed to a higher appreciation of the site.
So it's really interesting for the BioBlitz just to sort of see exactly how we know there's wildlife here, but I think a lot of us didn't realise how much.
An interesting finding was an increase in knowledge of biodiversity for the subset of individuals that initially displayed a low understanding of biodiversity. We ranked responses to the prompt, "The best you can explain biodiversity," on a 3-point scale, with 1 being the least correct and 3 being the most. We also found that 84% of survey respondents had attended university, which is important when considering the initially high level of understanding they displayed on topics like biodiversity. Past studies have found a correlation between the level of education and understanding of biodiversity. We found that a majority of respondents were over 54 years old, which reflects the age demographic of people engaging in conservation activities in the area.
So this data may be used as a baseline for future studies investigating the impact of citizen involvement in conservation efforts to increase public knowledge and appreciation of topics like biodiversity.
I absolutely think biodiversity is important for the future. I think we're all completely dependent on it, and I think it would be a pretty sad world if we continued to lose biodiversity at the rate that we are, and I think it would have significant impacts on every living thing on the planet, not just species that are threatened or going extinct, but people and our lifestyles as well.
Additionally, the demographic insights from this study can be used to develop outreach strategies for future citizen science events.
It's nice to do something tangible about climate change and the destruction of nature, and it just feels nice to do something positive and meet like-minded people and feel like you can do something together and possibly set an example also to other people what you could do.
Just after the BioBlitz, I signed up for the Malanda Land Care team.
Overall, the survey participants' appreciation for the park and the community around them was evident in their responses to both the survey and in the interviews.
It was a hey, and that's a beautiful aspect of living here, I think. 100%. I think I saw 20, 30 people I knew, and not so much from conservation groups, but people I know who are involved in community who share values similar to the conservation groups.